Beyond the Gates spoilers tease a moment of heart-stopping vulnerability when Derek Baldwin, on bended knee beneath the amber glow of string lights in the Fairmont Crest Garden, prepares to ask Ashley Morgan to spend the rest of her life with him and fails in spectacular fashion. It starts with Derek's hand trembling just enough as he slides the velvet box across the mosaic-tiled table. Ashley's breath catches. She reaches out, her fingers brushing his. But instead of the joyful acceptance he envisions, her eyes fill with confusion and something colder doubt. In that electric instant, the summer air seems to lock them in place, every cicada's chirp suspended as Ashley silently shakes her head. The proposal had been weeks in the planning. Derek spent late nights revising the perfect speech drawing on memories of first dates at the Crest's rooftop bar, quiet mornings sipping coffee in Ashley's cramped apartment that overlooked the campus quad, and the tremor in her voice the first time she'd told him she loved him. He envisioned her face lighting up, tears of happiness making her lashes glisten. Yet, as she pulls away, her delicate fingers folding back into her lap, he realizes he misread every cue. The fatigue in her smile, the way her gaze flickered to Andre Richardson seated quietly at the edge of the flower bedselways present, always steady unexpectedly reveals a chasm he never saw widening between them. Ashley's apology is soft but firm. She needs time to think. She stands abruptly, brushing past Derek with a flutter of her chiffon dress, leaving him clutching the open ring box that now feels like cold iron in his palm. He watches her retreating back, the hem of her skirt dancing in the breeze, until she disappears into the shadows beyond the hedges. The string lights flicker, and Derek is left alone with the echo of his own hopes crashing against the stone fountain. In the days that follow, Fairmont Crest's elegant hallways become the backdrop for a palpable tension. Derek wanders through the morning glass atrium where Ashley teaches her literature seminar, humming to himself to mask his ache. He catches snippets of her laughter in the courtyard, laughter not meant for him. When he tries to speak to her between classes, she offers a polite, distant nod, her gaze drifting past him as if searching for something else. Each encounter deepens his realization. The dynamic has shifted, and there is someone else occupying Ashley's thoughts. Andre Richardson, meanwhile, remains a constant. A quiet force of empathy and unassuming confidence, Andre has been Ashley's friend since freshman orientation. He knows her coffee order by heart, double-shot espresso with a dash of cinnamon, and he listens without judgment as she vents about grading papers or contemplates postgraduate plans. On the afternoon after Derek's failed proposal, Andre finds Ashley in the student lounge, her face buried in her hands. Without a word, he guides her to a secluded corner, produces a box of tissues, and slips an arm around her shoulders. His touch is gentle, and in her tear-streaked eyes she sees not pity but steadfast support. "You deserved a better moment," he murmurs. "But you don't have to face this alone." Ashley looks up at him, cheeks damp, and for the first time in a week, she manages a small, grateful smile. She lets Andre lead her outside into the warm sunshine. They walk side by side across the manicured lawn, Andre's calm presence breaking the edges of her despair. He shares anecdotes about his day, mundane stories about computer science lectures and his grandmother's birthday, and she listens, finding comfort in the easy cadence of his voice. In those moments, the sharp sting of Derek's betrayal dulls, replaced by a budding appreciation for Andre's unwavering kindness. As the campus hum resumes its normal rhythm, Ashley begins to navigate her world anew. In faculty meetings and student conferences, she holds herself with poised dignity, though inside she feels unmoored. She tells herself that the decision about Derek was hers alone, that she needed to protect her own heart. Yet every time she passes the spot in the garden where Derek knelt, a shiver runs down her spine. She wonders if forgiveness is possible or if some fractures are too deep to mend. In the sanctuary of her favorite reading nook, she pores over books on heartbreak and resilience, as if hoping to glean some secret formula for moving on. Meanwhile, Derek is not content to fade quietly. He tries grand gestures, surprise cupcakes delivered to her office, impassioned letters slipped under her door. He hires a quartet to play their song outside her window at dusk. Each attempt is met with Ashley's polite but firm refusal assurances that she needs space, that he must respect her wishes. With each rebuff, Derek's bravado erodes, replaced by hollow regret. He begins to see Andre in a new light too, the way Andre's presence calms Ashley's anxieties, how her eyes soften when he speaks. Derek's heartbreak morphs into jealousy and confusion. He wonders if he lost not only Ashley's affection, but her heart entirely to Andre's quiet steadiness. For her part, Ashley is caught between two pillars of support. Derek's past devotion still tugs at her memories, but Andre's current empathy feels irresistible. One golden afternoon, Andre invites her for ice cream at the Crest's vintage parlor. They choose seats on the wrought iron patio under a canopy of wisteria. Ashley opts for lavender honey gelato. Andre favors classic vanilla, but offers her bites when she hesitates over the spoonful. They talk of everything and nothing: her hopes for publishing essays, his dream of building accessible educational apps. At one point, Andre's hand brushes Ashley's across the small round table. He pulls back, uncertain, and Ashley's heart beats faster. She smiles, permitting the contact without speaking, relinquishing a fragment of control. In that simple, electric moment, both sense a shift, the foundations of their friendship trembling on the verge of something more. Yet neither dares to name the change. Ashley battles guilt over her growing feelings for Andre, knowing Derek's feelings still linger in the wings. She questions whether she's betraying the memory of their relationship, even as she craves the comfort Andre provides. Andre, in turn, wrestles with the knowledge that he admires Ashley's strength and grace, and with the awareness that Dani Dupree, their mutual friend, harbors feelings for him too. Dani, vivacious and fiercely intelligent, has been Andre's confidant since childhood. She calls him at odd hours to debate quantum theories, shows up unannounced with homemade cookies, and laughs at his corniest jokes. In Dani's presence, Andre feels seen in ways he never imagined. Still, he cannot deny the magnetic pull toward Ashley, her vulnerability stirred by Derek's rejection, her spirit shining brighter as she reclaims her independence. This tangled web of emotions weaves through the tapestry of Fairmont Crest's season. The autumn equinox arrives, painting the campus in hues of amber and crimson, and with it the annual Harvest Festival approaches. Ashley volunteers to help organize the literature tent, curating readings of student works and alumni poems. Andre signs up to run the high-tech story scanner, Demone interactive installation that scans handwritten pages into digital archives. Dani plans to craft the festival's promotional artwork, her designs promising to capture the spirit of renewal and hope. In the weeks leading up to the event, the three of them work late into the evenings, their laughter and shared frustrations forging a bond that oscillates between collaborative energy and undercurrent tension. On the eve of the festival, Ashley finds herself alone in the pavilion, arranging fairy lights around wooden bookstands. The soft glow illuminates the spines of antique volumes, first editions of Shelley and Bronte, collected on her grandfather's travels. She steps back to admire her handiwork when Andre emerges from the shadows, offering her a cup of steaming cider. He catches her gaze and raises an eyebrow. "Cold?" he asks, voice low. She nods, fingers brushing the warmth of the mug. He lingers, surveying the scene with her two silhouettes framed by dancing lights. "I have to say," Andre begins, clearing his throat, "you've done an amazing job. This place looks magical." His compliment is sincere, yet his tone carries a deeper longing. Ashley feels her pulse quicken. "Thank you," she replies softly. The air between them hums with possibility. She wants to confess her gratitude and something more, but the words stick in her throat. Before she can speak, Dani arrives, her sketchbook tucked under one arm and excitement lighting her face. She gushes over the artwork draped along the pavilion walls, handmade banners showcasing autumnal wreaths, whimsical quills, and ink pots splattered with gold leaf. She jests that she deserves an award for the most dramatic brushstroke. Andre steps back, yielding the stage to his friend, and Ashley watches Dani's live movements as she adjusts a banner. In that moment, Ashley sees Dani's devotion the way her eyes follow Andre's gestures, how she laughs at his jokes with open admiration. A pang of jealousy twists in Ashley's chest, tempered by the knowledge that Dani deserves happiness too. The three share a companionable silence as they survey the pavilion. Ashley catches Dani's gaze and offers a small, supportive smile. Dani returns it, and for a heartbeat, Ashley senses an unspoken truce, recognition that their intertwined affections must find equilibrium. Andre, standing between them, glances from one friend to the other, his expression unreadable. He knows that soon, confessions must be Medivh cannot continue to harbor unspoken desires toward both women. Yet he fears that naming his feelings will unravel the delicate balance they've maintained. The harvest festival dawns crisp and bright. Students and townsfolk wander among hay bales and pumpkin displays, the scent of cinnamon and maple drifts on the air. The trio hosts their respective booths, laughter and applause rising as readings captivate audiences and the story scanner delights curious visitors. At midday, they gather for a well-deserved break beneath the pavilion, sharing cider and recounting highlights. Around them, the world hums with celebration, but within their circle, undercurrents of longing and uncertainty pulse quietly, each wondering when, if ever, the other will speak the words that echo in their hearts. The morning after the harvest festival, the campus awakens under a pale October sun, and with it, the delicate threads binding Ashley, Andre, Dani, and Derek tighten toward their inevitable unraveling. The festival's success still hums in everyone's minds, but beneath the surface, each is haunted by unspoken confessions and the potential fracture of lifelong bonds. Ashley Morgan rises before dawn, unable to quiet the echo of Andre's praise at the pavilion. In the loft she shares with her roommate, she stands at the window, arms crossed over her chest, contemplating the golden leaves drifting past. Memories of last night mingle with regrets, her own hesitation when Andre's hand brushed hers, the quick laugh she shared with Dani under the lanterns, and Derek's absent apology had sent a bouquet of wildflowers as a belated thank you for her help at the festival, but no words. The flowers sit in a porcelain vase on her desk, vibrant but lifeless, much like the promises he failed to keep. She dresses thoughtfully in a cream-colored cardigan and dark denim, seeking something that feels like armor. Her first class is literature theory, and she plans to arrive early, to lose herself in reciting passages from Woolf. Perhaps if she can steady her mind with words, the questions tearing at her heart, who does she love? Who deserves to know, will recede. In the corridor, she encounters Derek Baldwin. His shoulders are slumped beneath his blazer, and he holds a single pale rose, the festival's leftover centerpiece from last night's decorations. He sees her, straightens, and approaches with tentative steps. "Ashley," he says softly. "Can we talk?" She fixes him with a calm gaze, folding her arms. "About what?" He hesitates, the rose trembling in his hand. "About us. About tonight." He gestures toward the lecture hall doors. "I saw you at the pavilion last night with Andre and Dani. It looked like..." She cuts him off. "It wasn't what you think." His chest tightens. "Then tell me what it was." He glances away, voice thick. "Because I still don't understand why you said no." A long moment passes. Ashley's mind races through every misstep Derek made, the discarded promises, the hollow rehearsed speeches, his blind faith in their perfectness. Finally, she meets his eyes. "Because I realized I was settling." Because you never truly saw me beyond the role I played in your life. Her words are gentler than she feels. I need more than what you were offering, Derek. He winces at the blow but steels himself. So you do want someone else. You want it to be Andre, don't you? Her words are sharp but tinged with vulnerability. You've seen the way he looks at me. Derek swallows. I don't know what he looks at. But I know I looked past you, took you for granted. He lifts the rose. I wanted last night to be our new beginning. Ashley's chest aches. Some beginnings aren't ours to claim. You should find someone who sees you the way you want to be seen. He lowers his gaze, the rose drooping. I'm sorry, Ashley. He turns and walks away, leaving the single flower on the ledge. Ashley stands in the hallway, the corridor emptying into student chatter. She lets the silence wash over her, the finality in Derek's retreating figure anchoring a sense of loss. But underneath it, a flutter of relief. She did not cry, she did not waver. Later that morning, Andre Richardson arrives at his computer science lab, clutching a backpack heavier than usual. He offered to help Dani set up promotional artwork for the next gallery show on Intimate Night of Photography and Poetry in the Old Town Square, and she jumped at his willingness. He texts her, "Meet me at the Arts Center in an hour?" She replies instantly, "Can't wait." His heart soars, tempered by lingering thoughts of Ashley's reaction to his festival confession left unsaid. Yesterday, when he held out his hand and she returned the touch, his throat had tightened. He'd wanted to pull her into the pavilion's glow and whisper truths. I care for you more than a friend. You deserve someone who cherishes your every glance. I want to build a life that begins and ends with you. But fear held him back, the potential of fracturing their friendship or hurting Dani if she overheard. So he'd swallowed the confession. Now, as he walks through corridors lined with code-strewn whiteboards, he rehearses the words in his mind. At the Arts Center, he finds Dani inside the vaulted gallery. She's adjusting frames along a charcoal gray wall. Soft light filters through stained glass windows, casting pastel shards across her auburn hair. She looks up, smiles bright. Hey, tech genius. Ready to hang photos? He grins, setting his backpack down. Let's make this place sing. They work side by side as Dani's photos shadowed street scenes, candid portraits of musicians, abstract studies of light find their places. Andre hooks each frame carefully, and Dani steps back to appraise the alignment, nodding when he shifts a tilt. Their shoulders brush, electricity lances through him. You know, Dani says, wiping her brow, I was thinking after tonight, maybe we could celebrate. Just us. Dinner? He pauses, heart thudding. Yeah, dinner sounds great. She beams, sliding a hand into his. I'm glad. Her fingers linger, and Andre feels a swell of emotion that isn't fear. It is possibility. Across campus, Ashley retreats to the student lounge at lunchtime, carrying a stack of essays. She settles into an armchair near the windows. Pulling out her phone, she scrolls through last night's pictures, hers and Andre's laughter under the festival lights, Dani's triumphant pose beside the story scanner, a solitary shot of Derek alone by the cider stand. Each image carries its own electric charge. She drafts a message to Andre, but deletes it. Then to Dani, can I talk tonight? But deletes that too. Her phone buzzes, from Andre, you did amazing yesterday. Coffee later? She types yes but hesitates, replaces it with sure, then hits send. Her thumb hovers over Derek's name and her contacts no courage to reach out. That evening, beneath the gallery's amber spotlights, Andre and Dani walk through the finished installation. Guests mingle, their conversations hushed reverence for the art. Camera lights flash as Dani fields praise for her evocative images. Andre beams at her success, his pride eclipsing any lingering tension. As the last of the crowd disperses, Dani guides Andre toward the courtyard's fountain, engraved with verses Dani once penned for Ashley's thesis. The moon shines silver on the water's surface. Dani's eyes reflect both confidence and vulnerability. Thank you for helping tonight. I couldn't have done it without you. He reaches for her hand. Always. Their proximity tightens and Dani's breath catches. Andre, there's something I've wanted to tell you. She hesitates, searching his face. Her voice falters before she steels herself. I like you. As more than a friend. I have for a long time. Andre's heart hammers. Relief and guilt surge together. Relief because he's no longer alone in longing. Guilt because his thoughts still flicker to Ashley. He gently removes his hand. Dani, you're amazing. He swallows, his voice thick. I care for you more than anyone. But I need to be honest. He stops, pain flickering in his eyes. I'm not sure I can give you all of what you deserve. Dani's shoulders slump, but her eyes remain steady. Is that about Ashley? Heat rises to his cheeks. He nods, ashamed. I thought I could ignore it, but I can't. I keep seeing her smile, hearing her laugh, feeling the brush of her hand. I owe it to both of you to figure out what I truly want. Dani looks away, pain cutting her features. After a beat, she meets his gaze, voice soft. Then you should. I would never want you to stay with me out of obligation. She withdraws her hand, stepping back. I hope someday you find someone who fills your heart completely. Her words hang between them like falling leaves. Andre wants to follow her, to plead forgiveness, to confess his love, but his voice catches. She gives him a small, sad smile and turns away, disappearing into the shadows of the gallery doors. That night, Andre returns to his apartment, haunted by loss and yearning. He sinks into his desk chair, the glow of his laptop illuminating lines of code that blur as tears sting his eyes. He replays the night's moments, Dani's brave confession, his own stammered truth, the ache of indecision. Above all, he feels the pull toward Ashley, the unfinished confession that could unite them or shatter what remains of their friendship. He opens his messages and types to Ashley, I need to talk. Tomorrow, on the quad at dusk. He deletes it, then rewrites, will you meet me by the fountain at sunset? We need to be honest with each other. He pauses, worries that the fountain belongs to Dani's memories, and switches to the tree-lined bench outside the pavilion. Meet me at the bench behind the pavilion at sunset? He sighs, then taps send. The next afternoon, Ashley walks across the quad, golden light filtering through the trees. She carries a loose-leaf notebook, heart pounding. At the bench, Andre waits, shoulders hunched in nervous anticipation. He looks up as she approaches. She sits beside him, the air thick with expectation. He exhales slowly. Thank you for meeting me. His voice is barely above a whisper. She nods, fingers tightening around her notebook. I got your message. He takes a breath. Dani told me last night that she likes me, and I told her I wasn't ready to be with her, because he stops, eyes pleading. Because I care about you. Her breath catches. Her cheeks flush. She presses her lips together, struggling to steady her voice. To care about you too. More than I realized. She lifts her gaze, meeting his. When you touched my hand at the festival, I felt something shifting. I've been wanting to see you alone, to tell you that. Relief and joy wash over him. He reaches for her hand, weaving their fingers together. Ashley, I've been paralyzed by fear of losing our friendship, fear of hurting Dani, fear of getting this wrong. He swallows. But I can't ignore it anymore. She squeezes his hand, tears shining in her eyes. Neither can I. They lean toward each other, the world around them dissolving as their lips meet in a tentative kiss, gentle, searching, but suffused with promise. In that moment, the ghosts of Derek's failed proposal and Dani's confession fade, replaced by the brilliance of a new beginning. Weeks later, the campus settles into the hush of late autumn. Ashley and Andre stroll hand in hand through paths blanketed in rust and gold. They laugh easily, sharing stories of family visits and future plans, a winter trip home for the holidays, Andre's dream of developing educational software for underserved schools, Ashley's next seminar focused on narratives of resilience. Their bond deepens with each shared detail, the comfort of friendship now enriched by the intensity of love. Dani, despite her own heartache, remains a steadfast friend. She greets Ashley with a warm hug and offers Andre a friendly smile, her grace a testament to her strength. She introduces him to a fellow photographer, fueling her own social circle's renewal. Over cider one afternoon at the campus cafe, Ashley and Dani share confidences, Dani's hopes for new creative collaborations, Ashley's excitement for her evolving relationship. They toast to friendship, resilience, and the power of truth. Derek Baldwin, observing from afar, begins to rebuild his own path. He accepts a teaching position at a sister campus, embracing the chance to start anew. He and Ashley exchange occasional emails cordial, respectful, devoid of the weight they once carried. Their shared memories remain warm, but neither harbors regret. Derek watches as Ashley's eyes radiate joy whenever Andre approaches, and he knows that some chapters end so others may flourish. As the first snow dusts the quad, Ashley and Andre find themselves beneath the pavilion once more. The fairy lights still hang, tangled among bare branches like frozen fireflies. Andre wraps his arms around Ashley, breath forming clouds in the winter air. "I'm glad we found our way here," he whispers. She rests her head on his chest, warmth blossoming in her heart. "Me too," she murmurs. "Beyond the gates of fear and doubt, we found something worth risking it all for." Together, they step into the softly falling snow, ready to write the next chapters of their story, one built not on hesitation, but on courage, honesty, and the unwavering promise of love.